Hi guys, and welcome back to another new video on HappyTypeStudio. I'm so happy that you're here because today we get to go over the stats of my first 30 days on Etsy. And this is a realistic update from somebody who made, that's right, 3 sales. Let's hear it. I'm excited. This is a realistic update from somebody who loves making art and wants to follow a dream. I feel like I make some really cool art and it brings me a lot of joy, and people have always said that they really like my art, so I think it's valuable and it's worth something and it's worth investing the time to build a business on it. But I am not by any means trying to run like Etsy's most optimized, successful digital download business ever. There are people that can teach you how to do that, and I'm not one of them. I'm here to teach you how to follow a dream. So one thing I do want to say is a little bit of a backstory. This Etsy shop is one that I did launch in 2022. HappyTypeStudio is a dream that I've had for a really long time. And in 2022, I fell down the rabbit hole of, ooh, don't you want to make money? Ooh, don't you want to have passive income? And I started a print-on-demand business selling mostly Swiftie themed apparel merch. I am a big Swiftie, if you couldn't tell, and I love all my Swiftie friends. They've been very supportive of the shop. Shout out to you guys, you know who you are. But after about 3-ish months of having it up, I just really felt like it wasn't for me. If you don't know how print on demand works, basically when someone orders from you, then the third-party partner that you have will charge your bank account to take that money, and then you won't get the money from Etsy until after the fees. And I, was a new shop, so I had a reserve on my account, which is normal for all Etsy shops. But it just didn't feel like it was for me, and it wasn't the kind of business that I wanted to build. But I've always had this dream of running my own small art business, and that has never gone away. So last year in 2024, I started this art journal actually right here. And I just started making art all the time. I felt this calling in 2025 that it was time to try and do the whole small art business thing again. So here we are, we're doing it. And now it's been 30 days, so that means I get to do a first 30 days stats with you guys. I am going to open up the Etsy dashboard and start screen recording. And with the magic of editing, you guys will be able to see what I see. Here we are on the dashboard, and I'm just gonna go over to stats, and I'm going to change the date range to custom and go to June 25th when I launched to July 25th. So we have 30 days of stats. And here we can see what that looks like. I had 237 visits. I had 3 orders, and that means my total revenue was $24.60. So of those 3 orders, my first one was actually made the day after my shop launched. 2 of them were actually from friends, including that one that was the day after my launch, and I am forever, forever grateful to them for supporting my dream. And then the 3rd one was actually from somebody who found me on Etsy search. So to me, that kind of felt like my first real sale. Not that my friends don't count, because they absolutely do, but knowing that there's a stranger out there that found my art on Etsy and liked it enough to buy it is just really cool to me. I wanted to scroll down and show you guys how my shoppers found me, because I think this is really cool too. I actually brought in 2/3 of my visits with direct visits and social media, and Etsy brought in the other 1/3 of those visits. I do think that is going to change drastically after this first month. One thing that helped me get a lot of those views is that I posted on social media to my family and friends announcing that I opened my Etsy shop and sharing my art. So the 3 big spikes that you see are June 26th, June 27th, and July 1st. So those are the days that I was posting on like Instagram and Facebook and sharing a link to have my family and friends check out my shop. But aside from those days, you can see I kind of had some regular visits the rest of the month. There was actually only one day where I got 0 visits, and that was June 28th. So it was in the first week of my shop being open. And it was after the excitement of all my friends and family checking out my shop. And after that, I've always had at least one visitor visiting my shop, which I think is really cool. I think I'll take it. That's a win. Honestly, I was expecting there to be multiple days where I had no visitors, no views, and the fact that I actually only had one in the first week is a massive win in my book. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about my revenue. So I obviously made $24.60, but anyone who knows anything about Etsy knows that that is not how much money I took home. So I'm going to go over to this finances tab here that I actually already have open. So you can see the sales is $24.60, but I had $11.78 in fees and 53 cents that I saved from using Etsy's share and save refund. So that's really cool, which means my net profit on Etsy so far is $12.82. I know, it's stunning. I'll hold for the applause. And also a little fun fact down here, my current balance is negative because on the very last day of the 30 days, I did post like 9 new listings and I haven't made any sales since then. So I am waiting to make a sale so that I can be in the positive again. I might even list more things before that happens, so I'm gonna get even more negative. But such is the ways of running an Etsy shop. It's really cool that I'm getting all these views through Etsy and I can't wait to see it grow, but Etsy is not the only platform that I'm using actually. I have a Pinterest account that I've actually been running for years, ever since I first launched HappyTypeStudio back in 2022. I kind of just kept posting on Pinterest as like a fun little hobby. So I would share my art, I would share lifestyle photos and be like, okay, cool. If people like them, okay. After a while, I kind of noticed that the aura gradients that I was posting were kind of getting a lot of views. And I was like, maybe I should do something about that, which is part of what inspired me to relaunch my shop. And here we are. Let me open up my screen recording and show you guys my Pinterest. So here is my homepage and the things that I've been saving recently. These are just sort of the random things that I've put up on Pinterest in the last month or so. I can't remember when exactly I posted some of these. But the real thing that I wanted to show you was when you have a business Pinterest account, you can look at a lot of stats. And I already have it pulled up here with the same start and end date. So starting with when I launched my Etsy shop on June 25th to July 25th. So we have 30 days of data. And you can see I got 868,000 impressions in these 30 days, which is just a crazy number. I still can't even, like, I look at that and it doesn't feel real. So like 630,000 people basically saw my pins on Pinterest in this month. That's baffling. And yeah, 3,000 saves, which is just so cool. I've had an increase in basically all of my stats for the past 30 days because I've been a lot more active on Pinterest. Clearly Pinterest likes it. The one that I find really exciting since I've launched my Etsy is the outbound clicks, which before they didn't really go anywhere. They weren't linked to anything. So an outbound click didn't mean anything. But now almost all of these are linked to either my Etsy or my YouTube. So all of these clicks mean a whole lot more to me. So I want to scroll down a little bit and show you this is what it looks like for the impressions over time. So in the beginning of the month, I was getting around like 18,000 views. And then at the end of the month, getting around like 40,000 views, which is just a crazy number to say so casually. Just wild to me that I just have this casually going on in the background of my life. Here is the impressions broken down by pin. So you can see all of these top 8 pins are ones that I have turned into listings on my Etsy. All of them are sort of the aura gradients, except for this one at the bottom here is the "I'm creating a life full of joy" quote. And yeah, you can see this one was created in 2023, this one here, 2023, 2024, 2024. So some of these have been on Pinterest for years and they're still getting thousands of views. So if that's not telling you that you should be on Pinterest, I don't know what is, because what other platform does this? I also want to show you the outbound clicks. So this, again, to me is the one that kind of matters most because these are people that are actually not just viewing these pins, but clicking on them to learn more. So this sunshine aura gradient got 11 clicks, and now that connects to my Etsy. So those are 11 people that went and visited my Etsy listing this month because of one pin. I am nothing if not realistic though, so I do want to go over here and click on pins created in the last 30 days, because you should not expect to get these kinds of numbers in your first 30 days of being on Pinterest, even if you've had a Pinterest account for a long, long time. New pins that I created in this 30-day period that all of them are getting like maybe 100 views if I'm lucky. Pinterest is definitely a platform where you're gonna see long-term growth. You're not gonna see these sorts of high numbers right off the bat. Basically, I just wanna say I feel really fortunate that I get numbers like this on Pinterest, but I don't expect it to last forever. And also it's not realistic for any of the content that I'm posting right now to expect to get these kinds of numbers, especially in the first 30 days. It is something that I kind of view as like a long-term investment in my art, where I am posting things now and I'm hoping that people will find it 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, and my shop will still be open. So I've given you guys lots of stats to think about, and you might be wondering, if you are just like me and you have this dream of running your own small art business, what is the advice that I would give you after my first 30 days on Etsy? And the first thing, it's cliche, but it's true, it's just to start. You have to start somewhere, even if it's bad, even if you don't know what you're doing, even if you change your mind and you have to redo it all, or you have to start over, because that's literally what I'm doing right now. You just have to start somewhere, and you will thank yourself down the road that you did. The second is be prepared to spend way longer on the listing photos, the mock-ups, and the listings themselves than you expect. It takes so much time, but it is worth it to do it right and to do the research and create high quality listing photos or mock-ups in my case, because that is what your customers are going to be judging you on. So it's gonna take a long time and it's gonna take a lot of effort to make them look the best that they can, but I promise it's worth it. The third thing is to SEO the shit out of your listings, okay? You need to spend time doing SEO research. It is a pain. It's gonna feel like it's homework, it's boring, but you gotta do it. It is the reason why all of my top listings are as successful as they are, because they have the best SEO on them. And I'm actually going to take the information from some of my top performing listings this past month and see how I can incorporate that on some of the other ones to see if I can get them a better boost in views. And last but not least, some realistic expectations. You will not make much at first. I went into this honestly fully expecting to make nothing this month, so the fact that I made 3 sales is just really exciting to me. I know there are people, they make these viral videos and they say, I made dozens of sales my first 30 days on Etsy, here's how you can do it too. And listen, I'm so excited for them, and you should definitely watch their videos because I know I am, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can, but it's also just not realistic. It's not gonna happen for everyone. I feel like my shop is a pretty realistic example of what your first 30 days on Etsy is gonna look like, especially with the big spike in the beginning from friends and family down to getting just maybe like 2 or 3 views every day. And even that, I feel like I'm really grateful to have had that, because I expected there to be days where I got no views. So definitely make sure that you have realistic expectations going into things. And to round things out, I want to give you guys a few goals that I'm gonna work on for my next month on Etsy. Looking ahead, I definitely want to continue to grow my shop. And for me, that means I want to continue adding a few more printable wall art digital download listings. But instead of doing collections of 8, I think I'm just going to do like 2 or 3 or 4 at a time and publish them hopefully once a week. We'll see how that goes. I also want to start selling different types of printable digital downloads. And I think I want to start with either calendars or bookmarks. So stay tuned for that, because I'm definitely going to make a video all about that process. Another thing I want to do this month is I want to offer a pre-made wall gallery listing. So I've seen other shops that do this. They sell like sets of 3 or galleries of 5 or 6. And I think a lot of my art does work well together in a gallery format. So I think that could be a really cool way to take the items that I've already made and convert them into different products. And that would also make it easier for people shopping, because then they can just select a pre-existing gallery for them to buy instead of having to manually figure out what goes together themselves. Last but not least, my sales goal for the month is I want to make 5 sales. I know, nothing crazy, but listen, it's my second month on Etsy. I'm being realistic, okay? 5 sales sounds realistic. It's going from 3 to 5. Hey, I think I can do it. I think it's possible. We'll see though. With that, we've reached the end of the video. If you have stuck around this whole time and you've listened to me yap, thank you so much, because wow, I do be yapping. And if you're in the same boat as me and you're somebody that has had this small art dream in your heart for a long, long time, drop a comment, tell me about it. I want to hear all about what you do and what your dream is, and I can cheer you on. I hope you guys liked this video, because I had a lot of fun going over all of the stats and showing you behind the scenes of what it looks like when you are just 1 month into running an Etsy shop. This is just the beginning. I'm so excited to share my entire journey with you guys. So if you're excited to see where this thing goes, please, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, like this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! And for the record, yes, I still do have my sunglasses on the top of my head, even though it's after midnight. It's just who I am.